Imagine this. You're sitting in class or at work, and suddenly you hear a girl whisper to her friend, "Do you have a pad?" Now, pause for a second. What's the first thought that crosses your mind? Is it embarrassment, discomfort, or worse, judgment? Let me tell you something shocking. Almost 71% of adolescent girls in India are unaware of what a period is before they get their first one. 71%. Now, why is that? Why does something so natural still feel like a dirty little secret? And guys, this one's for you too. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll understand why periods are not just a girl thing, but a human thing. So, buckle up, because this conversation is long overdue. Oh, and hey, before you start squirming, don't worry. No blood-dripping horror stories here. Just facts that'll make you question everything you thought you knew. Okay, so let's start with why girls get periods. Here's the deal. It's all biology. Every month, a woman's body prepares itself to create life. Yep, life. The uterus builds a cozy lining in case there's a fertilized egg. Think of it like decorating a room for a guest. But when no guest shows up, that lining has to go. And that's what we call a period. So guys, next time you're complaining about cleaning your room, just remember, women's bodies literally clean themselves every single month. Respect, right? Here's what's scary though. Many people even today don't understand this simple biology. Instead, they attach shame and stigma to it. But here's a wake-up call. Without periods, none of us would even exist. Think about that. Now let's tackle the myths. Myth number 1, periods are unhygienic. False. A period is not dirty. It's just blood mixed with tissue, and it's entirely natural. If anything, ignoring periods and not maintaining proper hygiene can lead to infections. But the period itself? Perfectly clean. Guys, let me ask you this. If periods are unhygienic, why aren't you calling your own blood dirty when you get a cut? I'll wait. But this next myth is even more damaging, and trust me, you've heard it before. It's about how women shouldn't enter temples or kitchens while on their period. Let's talk about that. Here's where things get tricky. In many Indian households, women are still treated as impure during their periods. They're told not to pray, not to cook, not to touch certain things. But here's a fact. These practices came from a time when rest was necessary. Women worked hard in the fields, and periods were exhausting. So, those rules, they weren't about shame. They were about giving women a break. But over time, these traditions turned into restrictions. And now, we're in 2024, and people are still enforcing these outdated beliefs. It's time to stop. Periods aren't impure. Ignorance is. Let's address the elephant in the room. Guys, you might be thinking, why does this even concern me? Well, let me flip that. Imagine if you had to deal with mood swings, cramps, and blood loss every month, and society judged you for it. Wouldn't you want support? And hey, if you're uncomfortable buying pads for your sister or girlfriend, just remember, she's not uncomfortable being in pain for 5 days straight. You can survive a trip to the store. But here's the good news. Change is happening, and it's starting with you. Let's talk about what you can do to break the stigma. Breaking the stigma starts with education. Parents, teachers, and even friends start talking about periods openly. Normalize the word pad. Normalize the word period. And guys, ask questions. No one expects you to know everything, but silence only makes the problem worse. Here's a thought. What if, one day, no girl in India ever had to hide a pad in her sleeve or whisper about her period? That change starts with you, and it starts now. And hey, if Bollywood can sing songs about heartbreak, why can't we sing about periods? Someone call A.R. Rahman. Periods aren't a women's issue. They're a human issue. Every time we speak up, Every time we challenge a myth, we're taking one step closer to a world where no one has to feel ashamed of their body. And if you're watching this, it means you've already taken that first step. So, here's your challenge. Start a conversation. Share this video with someone who needs to see it, whether it's a friend, a sibling, or even your parents. Let's make sure the next generation doesn't grow up thinking periods are a taboo. Instead, let them grow up knowing they're a miracle. Because at the end of the day, understanding periods isn't just about women. It's about being a better human being. And hey, if you have any questions or myths you've heard, drop them in the comments. Let's talk. Because this conversation, it's just getting started.